There we go. Hey, welcome back.
Yes.
Episode 5.
Cinco.
So,
Cinco.
we want to talk about specifically tonight. We wanted to bring up and converse about mindset and what they can do for you, to you, and pretty much how it can set the tone for your current life, for your future life. And so A is going to take this. A is going to start this off about mindset, and then we'll go back and forth. But we're going to be talking about that tonight. So go ahead, A.
Now, I love the fact that we're speaking about mindset because, and I'm sure not only wholeheartedly speaking, you would agree, but many would agree. Like we're in some interesting times right now, in regards to mindset. When because I feel like everything in life, not to sound esoteric, is like a frequency. When your frequency is off because you don't feel good. You feel like everything that probably is happening at that moment is just like, huh? What? Why is it? It's just confusing. But when your mindset is like on the right track and it's clicking, I have things where one morning I woke up, my friend was doing a live, and her live, everything she was saying was a lot of the stuff that you and I speak about. And, I don't speak on the phone much at all, but when I do, it's always about topics of substance. So I feel like right now, we're in a place where, many people are confused, and we spoke about it like our first episode, how, and rightfully so, because there's so many like voices, there's YouTube, there's radio, there's the news, there's stuff on TV. So, and then, sometimes there's your parents, it's like, go left, go right, but that's not what I'm passionate about, if that makes sense. So, but when your mindset is focused on progression and goals, etc., it's almost like everything is clicking. For example, this week, from a business credit standpoint, which we're going to get into in later episodes, it's almost like approval. Why is that? Because, to start off the week, I started off the week fresh. We started off the week fresh.
Right.
Like that, it was episode after episode after episode. So we know we're in momentum. We know we're going to do something big. So rightfully so, I'm going to get approval after approval after approval after approval. When I speak to you, it's always a mutual energy exchange. Like, now that I think about it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, since 5th grade, I've never had a time where you and I spoke and I've gotten off the phone like, huh?
I can't think of a time either. I can't. You know what it is? My mindset to me is you find like minds, like attracts like. Like, I know we've all heard the saying, opposites attract. That's not true though. I don't even think that's true in magnetism when it comes to literal magnets, when it's north and south. I don't, and I'll get into that a different day why I think that's not really north and south. That's not opposite attracting. But when it comes to like minds attract. Birds of a feather flock together. And so since 5th grade, we have had a connection from that day that I saw you come into class and the teacher introduced you to everybody. Right after that day, we became friends. You know what I mean? And then I vividly remember, we both being into exercise, like into calisthenics. You know what I mean? We had push-up competitions and all kind of stuff at like 10, 11 years old. You know what I mean? So our minds were already similar since back then. And so unless something dramatic would have happened to each of us, like something super dramatic and super traumatizing to change us, we would have remained with the similar mentalities. And this is why we sustained our friendship for so long. But definitely within the mindset, you will see progression, right? Like you could think positive and positive things happen. But sometimes you think positive and negative things happen, right? Similar to your situation that you spoke about in the previous episode, right?
Wow.
Now, that doesn't mean your mindset is negative or your mindset is not productive. What happens in life, along with there's different factors, right? So there's your mindset. If your mindset's always sucks, then most of the time things are going to suck for you. But if your mindset is about perseverance, about going forward, what's going to happen is in times where things are difficult, you're going to be able to persevere through it. Because that's just life. Life is going to be ups and downs. So we have to keep that mindset. Despite, yes, sometimes you might be a little discouraged. We could take a little, sit back a little bit, reassess, and go back to it.
Right.
And keep that mindset, right? Because if we think mindset's going to control everything, then you're going to be wrong, right? You're going to, because then when things don't pan out the way you want it to, then you're going to be like, hey, that mindset thing didn't work. No, that's not how it works. It's deeper than that. And there's multifaceted scenarios that, or variations of things that come to us, right? That help create our outcomes. And so what we're saying is, if you have that right mindset, then things will progress.
Right.
Things will progress when it's good. Things will progress when it's bad. And this is how I use three things, right? Mindset, feelings, and actions. And one can pull the other two with it.
Mm-hmm.
So if your mindset isn't, if your mind ain't in it, right? Let's say you're not even thinking about something. Let's say that's not on your agenda. But something pulls you, but something you saw pulls your emotions into it. Your mind follows. Your mind instantly goes to it, right? And then so does your actions. Let's say you're not feeling something. I ain't feeling it, man. But you physically go to it. You physically do the process. What's going to happen is your mind and your feelings, your heart will get into it. Sometimes you don't want to work out, right? Sometimes your mind and heart ain't in it. But if you take yourself to the gym, your mind gets into it, your heart, your feelings get into it. And so these three things, if you apply them, you can master getting to your goal. Right? Using your emotions to influence your mind and actions, or using your mind to influence and bring, your actions and heart into it. But mindset definitely is key. It's key. Mindset. I read that everything is mental. Everything. And I believe it, because where does everything begin? Is in the mind. Right? Every concept, every thought, the person thought up the wheel had to go, man, how could we get around? He had to sit there, or she had to sit there and think. Whoever that prehistoric person is had to think first, and then from that thought came the physical. So everything begins in the mind. And so you can win and be successful and victorious, starts in your mind, or you can be defeated, starts in your mind. I heard a boxer say today, he said, when one accepts the punches that they've received from the other person, when they have accepted and realized it, that's when they lose. And then he said, when he accepted the punches to his face and the pain that he felt, that he reacted, and then he pounded the boxing mat, and that's when he lost, because it started in his mind. If he had ignored it and kept going, he felt like he could have been victorious. And so it all starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind, you know. So what we're saying is, you know, the mind is where it all begins and how you can get yourself to where you're going, even if you may fall to a difficult place.
And everything in life happens twice. First in the mind, second in reality.
Right. Definitely.
When
Definitely.
when I lived in Atlanta, like we were speaking about the last episode, and you know, things weren't the greatest at all, at all. You know, you said something that was pivotal, and this is what I did. Like, regardless of all the things that weren't happening good for me on the daily, every day when I got home, I would sit on the couch, take a deep breath because I was happy to be home, and I would just sit there and think about owning a home, putting the key in the door, or not even putting the key in the door, but signing the contract and the representative saying, all right, Mr. Castro, you did it. It's all yours. Me putting the key in the door, opening the door, sitting down on the floor, crying. And the crazy thing is, when I got my house, I didn't even do that. It was so surreal, but not in a bad way. But I guess because, you know, I was working so hard. And speaking about mindset, I was in so much momentum. Like, I was on the incline up until the point I received the key. So when it finally happened, it was just like, of course this was going to happen. Like, you've been thinking about this for 3 straight years. You did more than attract this into your life. Like, you focused on it, you knew it was yours, and then so it was.
Right. Right. And I think when we all sit back and think about our lives and where we are today, it all began in the mind. Right. And I'm gonna give you a today's scenario. Like, I'm drinking this tea, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Valerian root tea. And I don't know if I don't want to say insomnia that I suffer with. I don't know if that's what you want to call it. That's what I want to call it, but I know I don't sleep well. I'm a night hawk by nature. I've been that way for a very long time. But then when I do go to sleep, I don't like I wake up every 30 minutes, every 40 minutes. Like, I wake up every 30, 40 minutes to move, to turn. I get up, I look around, and then I'll change positions. And I envy when I watch like children sleep and they just sleep and turn and move and they sleep just knocked out, just still moving around, just arm here, leg there. And I'm like, man, that must be some good sleep because you never know you moving. I know whenever I move, every move I make, if I got to move my legs, I got to wake up first. So I said to myself, I got to find a way to get solid sleep, at least sometimes. So started in the mind. I have to figure out how to get some sleep. So I tried all kind of stuff. I tried melatonin, which gets me to sleep, but I break out of it. I tried what did I try? I tried a couple other things. Didn't work, you know, and I'll fight it. Even like Lunesta, one of these sleeping meds, and I just would, my body fought it. Like, I stayed up longer with that medication prescription than I did with like other stuff. So eventually, long story short, I eventually kept looking up stuff and I saw valerian root. I said, okay, let me get it. First of all, this thing smells terrible. It smells terrible. It's reminiscent of feces. It's a reminiscent of a feces type of smell. Or like feet, or like feet, like bad feet. And it tastes terrible. But I'm gonna tell you this: I drank some last night. I'm drinking some tonight. I drank some last night, and that joint, beyond feeling just sleepy, because I wasn't like super sleep, like dozy, but I felt nice, ready to sleep, and actually I felt calm. I felt the calm. I felt a very nice, smooth feeling. And so I say that to say, when having difficulty sleeping and realize I need to get sleep, especially if I'm going to work out, I need to rest my body. Because I'll go nonstop. That's just, I'll do that and realize I didn't even sleep, or I hardly got any. I'll keep going. So I have to like consciously say to myself, hey, get sleep. I have to start here. And then boom, with this, it has helped me at least the past couple, last night and the time I used it before. And of course, I'm going to use it more consistently. But it's hard, a little bit hard to find the type that I use. I use the straight up root, like the dark brown root. And that's hard to find, at least over here. I don't want to get the tea bags, but I say that to say it started in the mind. And hopefully any of y'all that have difficulties sleeping will go ahead and, get yourself some valerian root and say, thanks, Lou. I appreciate the help. Yes, and this is a unicorn mug. It's my daughter's. I don't really rock with mugs, so I had to use hers. And so, yeah, I'm using a unicorn mug, and it says, stay magical. So my daughter's a unicorn. So she has magical powers.
Paying homage.
So definitely your mentality will save you from a difficult time. Your mentality will push you into a very good place. And so that's what we recommend. Keep them in, it all starts here.
Right.
Everything is mental. Everything is mentalism. Remember that. That's one of the first things if one understands, one can actually start to change their world, is that it all starts here. I met a long time ago. This was 2003. So this was almost 20 years ago. 2003, 2002. So yeah, 19, 20 years ago. I met this guy. He was a gangbanger from California. We happened to have met in a neutral state. he was still gangbanging, tattoos on his head, face, everything. You know what I mean? And he wanted to change his life. So he realized he wanted to join the military. But the military said he couldn't join with all those tattoos on his head and his face because they're gang related. They're not gonna he can't do that. He would have to get them removed. But me and him had a very good conversation for about 2-3 days. We had very good conversations. And he expressed certain things to me about gang banging in California. And, he was Mexican. He was a Mexican gangbanger. I don't remember which gang he was in. That was 20 years ago. But he did express to me that in California, he really couldn't be seen talking to me. But where we were, it was no, that gangbanging stuff wasn't so heavy, so it was okay. And what's so interesting to me is that his mind changed. His mind said, man, you wasted your life. Even though he was trading one gang for another. You know what I mean? Because all a gang is a group of people with a mindset to do something, right? And so he wanted to not gangbang for his streets, his neighborhood. He wanted to gangbang for the United States of America. And with the benefits that come with that, right? And so his mentality changed, and so he started to change. And I don't know if he made it to the military or not, because I only showed you for 2-3 days. I don't know what the outcome was, if he got the tattoos removed. He said he was going to. But if he did, he changed the course of his life. Just by that thought process, just from the mentality changing, he would have changed the course of his life. Because he said he's seen his homies die. He's seen his enemies die. And so death was like a normal thing, right? I think his cousin had recently got shot and killed, and it was just a normal, regular thing. And so I don't know. I hope that things changed for him, because he was you know, he was talking about his girlfriend and he loved her and he wanted to just do bigger and better things. And so hopefully that happened. And he, you know, he was able to preserve his life and make it a little bit more enjoyable and less stress. But that's how one can change your life for the better. Whatever circumstances you are in, whatever things you've done in the past, you can go ahead and change that by just making a decision in your mind that you will go ahead and change the trajectory of your life. And so, you know, but it all starts in the mentality. It all starts in the mind, even when it comes to drugs, right? It starts in the mind. One of the first things in AA and NA is one has to admit, one has to realize that they have a problem and that their
Right.
problem is bigger than them. They have to realize that the problem has become so large that it's out of their control. And so it starts in the mind. So if they if they never come to that realization mentally, then they will continue being in that spiral of addiction. But once they realize that they have a problem, that the problem has become unmanageable, then the work can be done. So I hope that gives you all a little bit of hope, a little bit of direction, because the direction starts in the mind and it goes from there. You want something, the mentality tells you, and then what happens is the information starts coming to you. The path starts coming to you. You don't go to the path comes to you.
Right.
And so I hope that helps everybody. I know it's helped me. I know it's helped A, and it's continued to help us, and it will continue to help us into the future. And so, you know, as we go to our path, so will you. So I thank you guys for listening. You know, if you like what you heard, share it with your friends and family. You know, subscribe. What they say, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that bell. Because we're trying to drop videos often so that we can get out the things that we believe is pertinent. Not even believe, that we know is pertinent and helpful to people. And it may not be these, it's not going to be these like high, like, yeah, go ahead and, you know, do this and that. And it's not going to be that kind of stuff. It's going to be legitimate, real stuff. And it may not be as colorful as you see other YouTube people, people on YouTube have their colorful dramaticism, because we don't want to catch you here with some dramatics that don't work. We want to catch you here with things that actually you can apply and see them work in your life.
100%.
And that's all we're going to talk about, right? So to that, I got nothing more to say. I don't know about you, A. You got anything else to say tonight to the people? If not, we up out of here.
Yeah, we're out of here. So far, that's a wrap.
All right. Thank y'all.